Okay, students, today's our topic is enzyme catalysis. We have studied the catalysis, some properties. Okay, we have studied homogeneous, heterogeneous, autocatalysis, induced catalysis. Out of them, autocatalysis was more important with one example. Induced catalyst is also important with one example. At the end of the lecture, we are going to study some practically used catalysis in industry. The topic name will be catalysis in industry, so don't forget to watch till last because that is core in topic. Okay, so now let's start the today's topic, enzyme catalysis. If possible, I will try to cover the another topic, shape selective catalyst also. If not possible, then we will go through the uh, if possible, then I will try to complete the shape selective catalyst. Otherwise, we will finish off with this. Okay. So let's hope we will do it fast. So enzyme catalysis. So in this topic, we are going to specially concentrate on the enzyme. Okay. So but why we are studying the enzyme? Okay, biologically they are different, chemically they are different. Okay, when you ask a chemistry scientist, chemistry faculty, what are enzymes, his definition will be different. When you ask the same enzyme a biologist, then his definition will be different. Okay, so first, nitrogenous, according to the chemistry, enzyme catalysis are nitrogenous complex organic compound. That means their structure is very complex and contains one or two coordinate covalent bonds. Okay, and second thing, they contain the nitrogen also. So enzymes, as per the chemistry, it is nitrogenous complex organic compounds. Okay, and as per the biological definition, they are simply proteins. But biologically, enzymes are what? Proteins. But additionally, what they have, they can form colloidal solution in water, and they should have maximum to maximum molecular mass. Okay, this is biological definition, this is chemical definition. And how they are produced, the main problem is that if they are produced in a lab, then we will study only in chemistry. But they are produced in the living plants or animals, therefore it is connected with both chemistry as well as biology. Is it understood? This is what the enzymes. And why we are worried about the enzymes in chemistry? Because of its absolutely excellent catalyzing nature. There are some unique properties which no inorganic catalyst, no synthetic catalyst can perform that. So these are to be studied separately in the chemistry itself. Okay. Okay, as I told you, these enzymes are related to both biology as well as chemistry. That's why simply what we can say, enzymes are biochemical catalyst. Okay, their basic purpose is to act as a catalyst, but they are chemically nitrogenous containing complex compound, biologically protein with high molecular mass and can form colloidal solution in water. Okay, therefore they are simply biochemical catalyst. Okay, and the main problem is that they can increase the rate of reaction. They can increase the rate of reaction of biochemical reactions. Okay, so therefore such phenomena of catalyzing, okay, catalyzing biochemical reactions, biochemical reaction is called as a enzyme catalysis or biochemical catalysis. Is that understood? Note down, then we will go for the some beautiful properties of enzyme catalysis. Okay, in this next examples of enzyme catalysis, the main advantage of the name of the biological catalyst or enzyme is the name is almost related to, almost everywhere it is related to the reaction what it is performing. Okay, like invertase causes the inversion. What it will cause? Invertase causes the inversion of cane sugar. Okay. So this is cane sugar formula C12H22O11. What is the molecular mass? Very good. 342. Like that, you should remember. In the examination, what you have to do, you need not to calculate. It should be on your fingertips. This is what the difference between the below 100 rank and above 100 rank in the examination. Okay. They study and remember and use in the examination. Okay. And the below 1000 rank, below 100 rank, that means they only study. Again, they have to revise. Okay. So C12H22O11 cane sugar, when hydrolyzed, it will give glucose and fructose. During this, optical activity of sucrose changes opposite. It becomes opposite. That's why it is called as a inversion of cane sugar. Why it is called inversion? Is it understood? Because optical property is inverted. Optical property is done inverted. That's why it is called as a inversion of cane sugar. Okay. Next, conversion of glucose into ethanol. This is the basic reaction where alcoholic beverages are prepared by fermentation of glucose. Okay. Glucose is C6H12O6. See, you can see glucose both have the same molecular formula. So glucose and fructose are organically dash isomers. Organically, glucose and fructose are which isomers? Organically, glucose and fructose are which isomers? Very bad. It is functional isomers. Okay. One will be aldose, another will be ketose. Glucose contains aldehyde and fructose contains ketone. That's why they are called as a functional isomers. Okay. So it is like furanose. Okay. The structure is related to during the cyclic structure. It is similar to the furan. That's why it is also called as a furanose. Okay. Fructose is also called furanose. Okay. Now, conversion of glucose, out of this glucose, if you take and when you ferment it in presence of zymase, when you ferment it in the presence of zymase, it will produce the alcohol, which is the major constituent of the alcoholic beverages. Okay, but it is a time taking process. So to speed up the fermentation, we have to use biological catalyst. What is it? Zymase. Okay. So some more example I am going to give you, the process and the catalyst used, that is enzyme used in that process, you have to remember. Okay, now next third example is conversion of starch. Okay, I think all of you have studied starch in the carbohydrate. Okay, starch, maltose, glucose and fructose. What is the difference between starch and maltose? Polysaccharide, disaccharide, monosaccharide, like that. Okay. Starch is a polysaccharide. See here. Okay. So polysaccharide C6H10O5N2. So N moles of H2O. This N moles of H2O on hydrolyzing with diatase. DIATASE. Okay. This is what our enzyme catalysis to increase the speed of the hydrolysis of starch to convert into maltose. Maltose is a disaccharide C12. Okay, how many are there? C12H22O11. So it is a disaccharide. Okay, disaccharide will be converted. Okay, polysaccharide is converted into disaccharide. Polysaccharide name is starch. Disaccharide name is maltose. Okay. For this reaction, our enzyme diatase act as a catalyst. And this disaccharide, once we say disaccharide means it should give on hydrolysis, it should give two monosaccharide. Okay. Maltose, Maltase, spelling is Maltase. Maltose, simply OSE is replaced with ASE. Okay. So it is acting on maltose. Therefore, the enzyme used for that purpose is called as a maltase. Most probably, the name of the enzyme is given just as per the reactant. It is catalyzing the hydrolysis of maltose. That's why it is called as a maltase. And it is give as it is a disaccharide. As it is a disaccharide, two monosaccharides are given. Okay. So then fifth example is decomposition of urea into NH2 and CO3. Okay. Urea is the first organic compound prepared in the laboratory. So as we are reacting with the urea, the catalyst, enzyme catalyst used is also called as urease. Okay. Urease. Okay. So urea on hydrolysis will give ammonia and CO2. Is that understood? Simply see how to remember that technique I will tell you. This is urea. NH2CO NH2. Okay. Water, how you will write? Water you will write like this. Okay. So on hydrolysis, what it will give? 1 mole of ammonia, 1 mole of ammonia, and 1 mole of carbon dioxide. Okay. How to remember, is it understood? 2 moles of ammonia, left and right. And at the center, what you will find? CO2. What we have added? Urea with water. Is that clear? Now, in our daily life, what we convert the milk into curd. Okay. Milk into curd, we will add our milk itself will contain lactobacilli. Okay. LACTOBACILLI. Okay. So this is the enzyme which we use to convert the milk into curd. What is this? Milk into the curd. Okay. These are famous, useful, most frequently asked examples of the enzyme catalysis. Okay, next, characteristics of enzyme. Why the special enzymes are specially studied? Okay, first they are very, very highly efficient, most highly efficient. They are most highly efficient. Most highly efficient means a one molecule of enzyme. You can see one molecule of enzyme can catalyze or can convert 1 million molecule of reactant into product fast. It can increase the speed of 1 million molecules of reactant if you take only one molecule of enzyme as a catalyst. Okay, that is very highly efficient. Okay, second thing, highly specific. That means there is no side effect. Normally, if you use the medicines, there will be some side effect. Okay, if you use the medicine for one purpose, it may cause problem at some other place because that is side reaction. Okay, but here you won't find any side reaction. They are highly specific in nature. Like if you are using urease, what you are using? You are using urease. It can catalyze only hydrolysis of urea. Somewhere somebody is coming and asking them to help in their hydrolysis. It will say no. Okay. It will do the only job which it is supposed to. That is specific in nature. It is meant for hydrolysis of urea, therefore it will do only hydrolysis of urea only. That is called as a specific in nature. And its activity, its optimum temperature, that means the temperature at which its efficiency is maximum, that temperature range is called as a optimum temperature. For enzymes, optimum temperature range is 298 to 310 Kelvin, and our body temperature also lies between 298 to 310. That means most of the biological reaction require this temperature, and it is exactly suitable for enzymes also. That's why enzymes are having good characteristics. Okay, so that means the quantity, the efficiency of the reactant enzymes are very much high. Efficiency in the sense, if you take one molecule of enzyme, it can convert 1 million molecule of reactant into product. The quantity of the catalyst may not be in the same proportion of the reactant. Suppose if we take 10 kilograms of reactant, it does not mean that we will take 10 kilograms of catalyst. No. 10 kilograms of reactant requires 1 or 2 grams also. Okay. Is that understood? Okay. Next characteristics is our body pH lies between 5 to 7, and enzymes also act highly efficient between the pH of 5 to 7. The optimum pH for the high activity, high catalytic activity of enzyme is 5 to 7, which is what required by our body. Okay. Next, influence of activators and coenzyme. Many students are not having the proper understanding because it is minutely not explained. Is it understood? So coenzymes are biological things. Activators are inorganic things, but their purpose is same. What is their purpose? Their purpose is to increase the rate of reaction only. But activators are metal ions which are weakly bonded. Okay. Activators are what? Metal ions which are weakly bonded, like sodium plus, manganese 2 plus, cobalt 2 plus, copper 2 plus. These are the weakly bonded. And what is their purpose? They will increase the catalytic activity. They will not do anything directly to the reaction. Reaction rate is not directly increased by activators. They will improve the catalytic activity of the catalyst. Okay, this there was a question and more than one correct, so people started answering that also. Okay, activator have no direct influence on the rate of reaction. It can act or it can treat, it can react only on catalyst. Understood? That is enzymes. Okay. So when you use activator, it will improve the catalytic activity of the enzyme. Suppose enzyme is making the rate of reaction 500 times. Okay. So if sodium or manganese or cobalt are present, it will improve the rate of reaction by 600 times. So that improvement is brought in the catalyst, not in the reaction. Understood? Same way coenzymes. Whatever the activators, they are inorganic things, and coenzymes are biological things. They are non-proteinous part, and they are small in size and quantity like vitamins. Okay. So they are present in enzyme. Their purpose is also to increase the catalytic activity of enzyme, not to increase the rate of reaction. So don't be in wrong impression that the coenzymes are going to increase the rate of reaction. No. Okay. They are going to increase the catalytic activity only. Is it understood? Okay, like coenzyme and activator does the same job. What is that? Increases the catalytic activity of enzymes without influencing on the rate of reaction directly. Okay. Same way here, just opposite are inhibitors or poisons. So they improve the catalytic activity of enzymes and they destroy completely or reduce the catalytic activity of the enzymes. Understood? Enzymes are to increase the rate of reaction. That activity is lost if inhibitors or poisons are present along with it. How they are able to do? What they will do? They will go and interact with the active functional group of the enzyme, which are present on the surface. Then their activity will be reduced, or if they are completely occupied by the inhibitor or poison, then the catalytic activity itself will be completely destroyed. Okay. Okay. The major advantage of enzyme catalysis is its specific nature. Okay. So because of its specific nature, it is research is done what makes it too highly specific. Okay. There are two reasons found. How many reasons found? Two reasons found. Like that, like in our app or in our bank account, two-layer security is there. Okay, like your thumb impression also should match. Then OTP will come to your mobile number. That also should match. Like that, there are two-layer security, two-layer specific nature in the enzymes. Okay, what is that two layers that we are going to explain now? Okay, so actually, in surface of the colloidal particles of enzymes. Okay, surface of the colloidal particles of enzymes have cavities. Cavities means gap or depth. Okay. Suppose this is a colloidal particle, okay, of the enzyme. Now this is having the shape like this, okay. Now this is called as a cavity. Is this understood? Now this shape also should match, and here there will be some active functional groups like amine, carboxylic acid or OH. Okay. So the reactant, or we call it as a substrate here. In the biology, we call it as a substrate. Okay. The substrate should have complementary shape of the cavity. Okay. Suppose the shape of the substrate is like this. Okay. Will it be able to fit here? No. That means first matching is not done. Is that understood? So shape of the substrate should be complementary. Suppose even though if its shape is matching, okay, what is the shape here? It is the shape is complementary. This is a reactant or substrate. Okay, this is catalyst. Now it can just exactly fit over here. But the second condition, second layer of security is that complementary functional group must be there. Suppose here carboxylic acid, here also carboxylic acid, then there is no scope of the reaction. If here it is alcohol, here also alcohol, then there is no scope of the reaction. But if here it is carboxylic acid and it is alcohol, they can react nicely to form. What they will form? Suppose on the enzyme there is a carboxylic acid and on the substrate there is alcohol. They are complementary to form which compound? Very good. Esters will be formed. Is that understood? So complementary in the sense that must be the logic. Okay. So complementary function group also must be present, and what do you call, complementary shape also must be present. Is it understood? So complementary shape and functional group should fit into, okay, should fit into cavities. Because of these two layer security, the enzymes are highly specific in nature. Enzymes are highly specific in nature. Okay, note down these points. Okay, this is the mechanism. First, what enzyme will do? Enzyme will go and react with the substrate. Here I say substrate means it should be reactant. Okay, reactant and enzyme first react. They will form a activated complex, enzyme substrate complex. Okay, so then enzyme substrate complex, because of the highly active in nature, highly reactive means less stable. So automatically it will gives out the product and releases the enzyme back. So whatever the enzyme we have, that we will have it back. Okay, but substrate is ultimately converted into product. This is the lock and key model. Okay, only this key can open the substrate to reach to the product. Is that understood? So that is what the lock and key model. Now we are going to study some industrially important catalyst. Okay. Okay, these are the some industrially important process like preparation of oxygen. In the preparation of oxygen by thermal decomposition of oxygen rich compounds like potassium chlorate. Okay, potassium chlorate on heating in presence of MnO2. Okay, so this is a example of heterocatalysis. Understood? Then Haber process is ammonia preparation, and here iron is catalyst or molybdenum promoter. Okay, therefore it is also example of heterocatalysis. Then same way Oswald process and lead chamber process. Oswald process, ammonia is converted into catalytic oxidation of ammonia into nitric acid. There platinum gauge is used. Okay. Next, lead chamber process and contact process. Both are using the sulfuric acid preparation only. Okay. So lead chamber process, we are using the V2O5 as a catalyst. Only thing, catalyst is different. Reaction will be same. Reaction will be same everywhere, but only thing, catalyst, if we use nitric oxide, then it is called as a lead chamber process. If we use V2O5, then it is called as a contact process. Both are same preparation of sulfuric acid from the same reactant. Only thing, the catalyst is different. Like that, we are going to study some more catalysts which are industrially examination point of view important. Okay, next Decon process. Decon process is used for manufacture of chlorine. Very important. Like this, you will be revising the previous chapter also. Okay. Bose process, hydrogen is prepared. And vegetable ghee, nickel is a catalyst, copper is a promoter. In Bose process, Fe2O3 and Cr2O3, it is a hetero process. Okay. Heterocatalysis. And Decon process also heterocatalysis. Manufacture of vegetable ghee also hetero process. Hydrolysis of ester. This is a homocatalysis. Okay. Homocatalysis because this is also liquid and carboxylic acid and alcohol also liquid. Then it is cracking of hydrocarbon. What is this? Cracking. Cracking means there are two types of cracking. Thermal cracking and catalytic cracking. Here I am talking about the catalytic cracking. Okay. So breaking of a big hydrocarbon into small molecules by using a catalyst is called as a heterocatalysis. Understood? So for that we are using the zeolites. What are zeolites? That we will learn in the next lecture, which is called as a shape selective catalysis. Is it understood?